Welcome to Mukesh Manoharan Studio. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon before we proceed. Have you ever stood right at the starting line of a brand new ambition, feeling the intense heat of a burning fire right in your chest? We all know that fiery rush of setting a massive new goal. You close your eyes, you imagine crossing that finish line, you feel completely unstoppable, and you tell yourself with absolute certainty that this time, everything is going to be different. But as we journey through this explainer today, we're going to look really closely at a deeply universal human struggle. We're going to explore the tragic, quiet fading of that initial spark, and more importantly, exactly what we need to build within ourselves to replace it when the fire inevitably dies down.
It's a remarkably familiar, almost poetic cycle that pretty much every single one of us has lived through at some point. You make a grand, sweeping decision. Maybe it's a New Year's fitness journey, or deciding to learn a totally new language, or maybe setting a harsh 5 a.m. wake-up call to finally work on that dream project of yours. On day one, the pure excitement carries you out of bed. On day two, you're still coasting along on the momentum of that initial thrill. But then, slowly, almost invisibly, the shadows start creeping in. The mornings start to feel a little bit colder. The weights at the gym feel so much heavier. And by day 7, when that alarm clock pierces through the pitch black of your bedroom, the excitement has completely dissolved into silence. You hit snooze, you quit. But here's the thing you have to realize. You didn't quit because you lost your dream. You quit because the specific type of fuel you were running on simply ran dry.
Okay, let's dive into this. The real reason that initial rush of excitement fades away is because motivation is, at its core, merely a feeling. And like all human feelings, motivation is exactly like the weather outside your window. Some days the sun is shining brightly, the wind is gently pushing at your back, and you feel entirely energetic and ready to conquer the world. But other days, the storm clouds gather thick and fast. It's pouring rain, it's freezing cold in your mind, and you literally do not even want to pull the covers off to face the day. If you choose to anchor your biggest dreams and your ultimate success entirely to the shifting, completely unreliable weather of your passing emotions, well, your results are going to be just as unpredictable.
Now, I want you to consider the profound, deeply emotional contrast between these two forces in our lives. On one side, we have motivation, a fleeting, unpredictable emotion that leaves you sitting around just waiting for inspiration to strike. But on the other side, we have discipline. And discipline is absolutely not a feeling. It is a firm, unbreakable decision. Think about a really simple daily act, like brushing your teeth. Do you wake up every single morning feeling this profound, fiery, overwhelming motivation to brush your teeth? Definitely not. You don't stand in front of the mirror waiting for inspiration to wash over you before picking up your toothbrush. You simply do it. It's an automated, committed decision. That is exactly where true, life-altering power lies. And hey, if you're finding value in this journey so far, please take a quick second to subscribe, like, and share the channel so we can keep bringing you these deep dives. It means the world to us.
Grasping this concept helps you build a completely new framework for your mind, because true discipline is quite simply doing what needs to be done, even when every single fiber of your being is screaming that you don't feel like doing it. The truly disciplined mind operates on a completely different frequency than the rest of the world. When the morning comes, they do not ask themselves, "Do I feel ready today?" or "Am I feeling motivated?" Instead, they ask a much quieter yet infinitely stronger question, "What must be done today?" By shifting to that question, they take a sword and completely sever the tie between the actions required for their success and their temporary fleeting emotions.
When we look out at the world's most successful people, we're talking the legendary athletes, the brilliant visionary artists, the unstoppable entrepreneurs. We are almost always just looking at the finish line. We see the gold medals shining under the stadium lights, and we see the pristine masterpieces hanging in galleries. But what we don't see are the thousands of quiet, unseen, utterly exhausting days behind closed doors. We don't see the days when they were bone-tired, the days when they failed miserably, the days when they felt absolutely zero inspiration whatsoever. Yet the magic is that they showed up anyway. Because success is not built on a few extraordinary, glamorous moments of genius. It is forged, slowly and painfully, in the fire of ordinary actions, repeated consistently, day in and day out.
And this brilliantly illustrates a beautiful paradox that completely shifts the paradigm of how we view our lives. For so long, society has sort of taught us that discipline is a cage, right? That it's a restriction, a heavy set of rules designed to hold all your fun down. But the beautiful, undeniable truth is exactly the opposite. Discipline isn't a cage at all. It's the very key that unlocks lifelong freedom. Just look at the patterns around us. Financial discipline, the incredibly unglamorous act of saving and budgeting when you really just want to spend, ultimately creates absolute financial freedom down the road. Health discipline, Saying no to those momentary cravings and pushing through burning workouts grants you long-term physical freedom to live actively. Time discipline gifts you with a profound, unshakable peace of mind. Short-term discomfort is simply the necessary price you pay for long-term liberty and limitless choices.
Yet even knowing all of this, so many of us remain completely trapped in a tragic illusion. We constantly tell ourselves things like, I'll start when I feel a bit more ready, or I'll finally begin my diet next Monday, or I'll study tomorrow when I'm actually in the mood. We end up sitting in the waiting room of life, endlessly waiting for the perfect moment to arrive. But tomorrow just keeps moving, and the perfect moment never ever arrives. Because here is the great secret. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Momentum and energy only awaken inside you after you take the hardest, heaviest step of all, the step of simply starting. You do not wait to feel good to start. You start, and then, almost like magic, you begin to feel good. And as a quick reminder as we move into the practical steps, if this is resonating with you, make sure to hit subscribe, like this video, and share the channel with someone who might need to hear this today.
So the big question is, how do we actually bridge the gap between where we are right now and where we desperately want to be? We need a clear visual roadmap to guide us. We need highly practical methods to cultivate this unshakable discipline in our own daily lives. So, we're going to walk through a toolkit of 5 actionable methods together, starting small, creating a rock-solid routine, removing temptations, focusing on consistency, and finally, keeping the promises we make to ourselves. Let's explore this toolkit and see how it can rebuild your foundation.
It all begins in the quietest, smallest of spaces. The very first step, start small. You see, the absolute greatest mistake we make as human beings is trying to change our entire existence overnight. We want the transformation right now. But if you want to become a reader, don't sit there and stare at a massive, daunting book. Just commit to reading 5 simple pages. If you want to completely change your physical health, don't commit to a grueling, painful 2-hour workout on day 1. Start with 10 gentle minutes of movement. If you want to write a novel, begin with 1 single, authentic paragraph. These microscopic victories are so incredibly powerful. They quietly build a profound inner confidence, and over time, that tiny seed of confidence blossoms into a towering tree of lifelong consistency.
Once you have planted those small seeds of habit, you absolutely must protect them from the harsh elements. This leads us to our next method, create a routine. Every single decision you make during your day, from what to wear to what to eat, drains a tiny, invisible drop of your willpower. Highly successful people know this deeply, so they intentionally reduce the number of daily decisions they have to make. Instead of waking up and agonizing over, when should I exercise today, or when should I study, they just automate it. They wake up at the exact same time every morning. They train at the exact same hour. By turning the heavy, exhausting burden of choice into an effortless, automatic rhythm, they preserve their fragile willpower for the things that truly deeply matter.
But you have to realize that even the strongest, most ironclad routine can be completely derailed if you are constantly fighting your own surroundings. Which brings us to the third piece of the puzzle, remove temptations. Relying solely on your raw internal self-control is a losing battle. Eventually, your willpower is going to fatigue and break. Instead, you have to become a master architect of your surroundings. If your smartphone is a massive distraction, banish it to another room entirely while you work. If unhealthy food constantly tempts you, simply do not let it cross the threshold of your front door. You must intentionally design a physical environment that actively protects and nurtures your dreams, rather than one that constantly tests your human weaknesses.
As you journey through this newly designed environment of yours, it is so vital that you carry a gentle grace with you. This is our 4th method. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Listen, you are human, and inevitably, you are going to stumble. You're going to have a bad day, but missing 1 single day of your new habit is not a failure. Giving up entirely just because you missed that 1 day, that is the only true failure. If you miss a workout, forgive yourself warmly, let it go, and just do the next one. Real progress comes from simply returning to the path again and again. And speaking of staying on the path, if you're enjoying our journey today, please remember to subscribe, drop a like, and share this channel. Your support is the momentum that keeps us going.
We arrive now at the 5th and perhaps the most sacred step of all. Keep promises to yourself. I want you to think of your mind as a grand, ancient fortress. Every single time you tell yourself you are going to do something and you actually follow through and do it, you are placing another massive, solid stone into the protective walls of that fortress. You are building undeniable self-trust. But every single time you break a promise to yourself without a valid reason, you pull one of those heavy stones away and your inner confidence begins to crumble. When your actions consistently match your words day after day, you construct a fortress of self-trust so magnificent that no temporary lack of motivation can ever breach its walls.
Let me tell you a quiet, powerful little story about two parallel lives to help you truly internalize this. Imagine person A and person B. Person A approaches their massive life goals waiting for that magical spark of motivation. They actually work really hard, but only on the days when they feel like it. Person B, on the other hand, simply follows a mundane schedule. They don't rely on their shifting feelings, they rely entirely on their quiet commitment. Now, fast forward exactly 1 year into the future. The ultimate victor, standing there with unstoppable growth, is person B. Not because they were born inherently smarter, not because the universe miraculously granted them better luck, but simply because they made the quiet choice to show up every single day, completely regardless of the weather happening inside their own mind. So the crucial point to anchor in your mind right now is the astonishing rule of 1%. This tiny, seemingly insignificant number holds the invisible but absolutely extraordinary magic of compounding. Tiny improvements, day after day, seem completely unnoticeable in the present moment. Getting just 1% better today feels like you did absolutely nothing at all. But when you stack that over a week, a month, a year, those tiny daily actions compound into a massive, life-altering difference. Always remember, one single disciplined action taken today is worth 100 brilliant, highly motivated thoughts that were never actually acted upon.
Yet, we have to acknowledge that all the brilliant strategies, the automated routines, and the compounding improvements desperately need an anchor. To truly endure those dark, hard days when everything goes wrong, you have to look deep within yourself and ask a profound question. Why am I doing this? What is your ultimate unbreakable purpose? Is it to provide a beautiful, secure life for your family? Is it to reclaim your failing health so you can live fully? Is it to leave a lasting, impactful legacy on the world? You have to define it clearly in your heart. Because when your why burns brightly enough, it incinerates all your weak excuses into ash. Pure purpose is the ultimate fuel that creates endless, unyielding persistence.
As we reach the final, quiet moments of our explainer today, I want to leave you with a powerful, deeply resonating thought. I want you to feel the weight of these words. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Consistency changes your life. Motivation might be that beautiful, sudden spark that initiates your long journey, but it is the quiet, heavy, unbreakable armor of discipline that will actually carry you across the finish line. Do not wait for the perfect mood to strike. Do not wait for next Monday to roll around. Dreams only become reality through the quiet rhythm of daily discipline. So, as you look ahead to tomorrow morning, ask yourself, what is the one small, disciplined choice you will make that your future self will look back on and thank you for? Thank you so much for walking through this transformative journey with us today. Your time here means everything.